I'm curious. When you think about your problems, if you do, what emotions arise in your head? Is it, anxiety, shame, possibly even fear? The only reason why I ask is because that used to be the case for me. When I used to think about, my problems and the things I had to do, it definitely would bring about some anxiety and a little bit of shame, I guess you could say. Just overall negative emotions. And it's ironic because it's like the more I would think about my problems, it's like the less I got done, and the more crippling, the more power that these things had over me. It took a while to realize, but I think it's an important reminder that you cannot identify yourself with your problems. And really, you just have to be mindful of what you identify yourself with, period. And it's kind of like the classic case where, the kid thinks that it's his fault that his parents divorced or whatever, or broke up. And so, to the same degree, are we all human? Yes. Do we all make mistakes? Yes. And just because we have these things that we are trying to improve, and we identify a gap from where we want to be compared to where we want to be. We identify a gap from where we currently are to where we want to be. That space in between, the more we're over here and our heads where we want to be and thinking, about the problems and all that, that's where that negative emotion comes from. You want to be someplace where you're not. I'm not saying to ignore all your problems and act like, there's nothing wrong with you and you have nothing to improve. On the contrary, I think it's important to be mindful and open of these things. However, though, we cannot let it cripple and debilitate us to where now, maybe you have a different experience than me, but to where our negative emotions and these negative thoughts that we're having around our problems is actually stopping us from working on them. When I used to think about my problems and what I had to do and what I have not done, and I took that as I almost use my problems as a measuring tool for my sense of worth and my overall value. And man, did that mess me up for a while. So I know at the end of the day, no matter what stage in life you're in, I assume we're always going to have, something to work on, right? Some way to improve. What has helped me actually get more done and really have a unbiased view on my life is by no longer identifying myself with my problems. I'm aware of what I have to do and what I need to work on, but I no longer take it personal, and I don't let these things bring me down. Of course I slip sometimes, and it's easy to get back on those negative thought patterns. But when I can, like I said, learn to disassociate myself from my problems, you can just move much more freely, and there's nothing holding you back, and you don't have no filter over your thinking process. And I feel like it just helps you, see things a little bit more clearly. The decisions that need to be made are a little bit more apparent and kind of just in front of you. You are not your problems. You are not your failures. But I think it's important to remember and to keep in mind there is purpose in your problems, and it's learning to work on those things and not have them, being able to work on those things without it negatively affect you and your thinking patterns. For me, that's where I've been able to make some big improvements in my life, and actually find what I was looking for, in the sense of just being overall satisfied with my life, and actually bringing joy to it. Of course, I still have problems that I've been dealing with for a while, but the difference is they no longer define me, and they aren't affecting my decision making as much as they used to. And now all the things that have come as a result of it, it's like everything I was seeking. So again, there's purpose in your problems, but you are not your problems.